Archangel Michael says, "My child, my beloved, do not skip." This message reached you on purpose, now, at this exact moment, because the window is open and it does not stay open for long, and before you move even one breath forward, stay with me, follow this channel softly now so you do not miss what is unfolding, and listen carefully, because someone who passed away is pressing close to you right now, not to frighten you, not to overwhelm you, but because something unfinished has been stirring, something that belongs to you has been waiting, and heaven has been watching you carry a weight you never named out loud, nights where you felt watched without knowing why, mornings where a memory surfaced for no reason, a pressure in your chest that came and went, and you told yourself it was nothing, but it was not nothing, my child, it was timing, and you have been strong in silence longer than anyone knows, patient even when answers delayed, steady even when signs felt confusing. And I was assigned to stand near you during this season, to guard what you could not see, to block what tried to interfere, to quiet what whispered doubt when you were most vulnerable, because heaven recorded every tear you swallowed and every question you carried alone, and now listen carefully, because the one who passed did not leave in chaos, they left with intention, with something unresolved that was never meant to be lost. And it is circling back toward you gently, not loudly, not forcefully, but precisely, and if you leave this message too soon the alignment stretches, the moment waits, and I do not want you waiting longer than necessary. Stay with me, because there has been movement behind the veil, permissions shifting, resistance loosening, doors responding, and you may have noticed small disruptions lately. Delays that made no sense, interruptions that protected you without explanation. That was my presence, my child, my sword drawn quietly, clearing a path you could not walk yet, and there is urgency now not because of fear but because of precision, because this is the hour where remembering becomes receiving, where a truth rises without needing proof, and you will feel it before you understand it. A calm recognition, a sudden clarity, a knowing that lands without noise, and you are not imagining it, you have never imagined the things that matter most, you have simply been trained to doubt them, and that training is ending. Stay with me, because what is coming will confirm itself soon, through a sign that feels personal, through a detail that cannot be coincidence, through a realization that clicks into place and brings relief instead of shock, and when it comes you will understand why I guarded you so closely, why certain connections fell away, why some paths closed abruptly, why timing never matched until now, and do not try to name the opposition, do not chase explanations, it is enough to know that it is being held back, blocked, dissolved. And you are safe in this unfolding. My child, you are not being pulled backward into grief, you are being moved forward into completion, and the one who passed is at peace with this. There is no disturbance, only release, only order restoring itself, and as this approaches you may feel waves of emotion that make no sense, tenderness without sadness, nostalgia without pain, warmth where there used to be heaviness. Let it pass through, do not resist, do not rush ahead, stay with me, because every time you try to skip ahead you miss the protection built into the pause, and this moment is a pause filled with power, and hear me now, there is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to prove, the movement is already in motion, the alignment already approved, the transfer already set. And your role is simply to remain present long enough to receive what has been waiting for you, and if doubt rises, remember this, doubt never shows up unless something real is near, confusion never presses unless clarity is approaching, and you are closer than you think, closer than you have ever been, and I am standing with you, guarding the edges, sealing what tries to leak away, holding the line until the final moment arrives, and when it does it will feel calm, almost ordinary, and that is how you will know it is true, because heaven does not shout when it delivers what was always meant for you, it settles it gently into your life, and listen carefully now, do not skip, because the last word matters, my child, you are protected, you are seen, stay with the final word, because what is moving toward you cannot be stopped. Archangel Michael says, my child, my beloved, stay with me, do not let your attention drift even for a second, because this part is why you were brought here, and if your heart feels like it is beating a little differently right now, that is not imagination, that is recognition, because something ancient between you and heaven is responding, and you have felt this before in quiet moments when you suddenly stopped and wondered why a thought felt heavier than usual, why a name crossed your mind without warning, why a memory returned with no emotion but strong presence, and you pushed it away because it did not make sense. But now listen carefully, because sense was never required, only timing, and this timing is exact, and I am standing closer to you now than I was before, shielding you while something unseen is being adjusted, because there was resistance around you that did not want you calm, did not want you focused, did not want you still enough to receive, and that resistance is weakening. You may have noticed distractions trying to pull you away right now, noises, urges to scroll, thoughts telling you this is nothing. That is how you know this moment matters. Stay with me, because when heaven moves quietly the world tries loudly to interrupt, and I am asking you not to move, not to leave, not to close this, because what was left behind for you is not only an object or a thing, it is clarity, it is authority returning to you, it is something that restores what was taken without your consent, and you are about to notice a shift in how you remember the past. It will no longer feel heavy, it will feel organized, settled, as if pieces finally align, and that is when you will understand why I protected you from knowing too soon, because you were not meant to carry this awareness alone, not then, not without covering, and now the covering is complete, and I am watching every reaction inside you, steadying what shakes, calming what rises, holding you in place while the final alignment approaches, and I must say this softly but clearly, do not rush the next few moments after this message ends, do not distract yourself immediately, because confirmation follows stillness, and you are closer than one step, closer than one conversation, closer than one realization, and you will know it when it arrives because it will feel calm, undeniable, and personal, and nothing will be able to talk you out of it. Stay with me now, breathe slowly, let the protection settle, because my child, you are not alone in this moment, you were never unguarded, you were only being prepared, and what is moving toward you is already approved, already released, already on its way, and no delay, no interference, no unseen resistance can stop what has been sealed for you. My child, you are protected, you are seen, stay with the final word, because what is moving toward you cannot be stopped. Archangel Michael says, my child, my beloved, stay with me a little longer, do not let your focus slip now, because this is the narrowing point, the place where everything quiets just before it arrives, and if you feel a strange calm mixed with anticipation, that is not random, that is alignment settling into place, and you have been brought to this exact second because your spirit was finally still enough to hear without fear, and listen carefully, because what was hidden is not rushing, it is approaching with precision, and precision always feels slow until it is complete, and I know you are tempted to look ahead, to wonder what it is, when it will show itself, how it will appear, but that curiosity is not meant to be answered yet, it is meant to keep you here, present, protected, because the moment you stop listening is the moment the atmosphere shifts, and I do not want the atmosphere disturbed. Stay with me. Because something has already begun rearranging itself around you, conversations shifting, memories resurfacing, paths crossing again in unexpected ways, and you may soon notice a detail that feels too exact to ignore, a name, a place, a message, a sudden understanding that lands gently but firmly, and when it does, there will be no fear in it, only certainty, and that certainty will feel like relief spreading through your chest, and I am holding the perimeter while this unfolds, keeping interference distant, keeping confusion from settling, keeping you grounded while the unseen completes its work, and do not underestimate how close you are now, my child. Closeness does not always feel loud, sometimes it feels like silence thickening, like time slowing, like everything else fading out except this moment, and that is why I am asking you again, do not skip, do not rush, do not leave, because the final confirmation does not chase you, it meets you when you are still, and you are still now, even if your thoughts are moving, even if your heart is racing, you are here, and that is enough. And I want you to know this clearly, nothing is being taken from you, nothing is being demanded, nothing is being asked in exchange, what is coming belongs to you already, it always did, it was simply waiting for the right hour, and this hour is unfolding gently, securely, under protection, and I am not stepping away yet, I remain with you through this closing moment, steady, watchful, unwavering, until the final word settles where it needs to, my child, you are protected, you are seen, stay with the final word, because what is moving toward you cannot be stopped. Archangel Michael says, my child, my beloved, remain with me, do not let impatience whisper that you have already heard enough, because this is the stretch where many leave and miss the settling, and I do not want that for you, not after everything that aligned to bring you here, and listen carefully now, because the silence you feel around these words is intentional. It is creating space for something to land, and you have lived much of your life filling silence with noise, with effort, with questions, because quiet once felt unsafe, but this quiet is guarded, this quiet is chosen, this quiet is where transfer happens, and you are inside it now, and you may notice your thoughts slowing, your body easing, your attention narrowing to this moment alone. That is not coincidence, that is containment, and I am holding it steady so nothing leaks away. And hear this gently, the one who passed is not reaching you through fear or sorrow, but through order returning, through a thread reconnecting that was never cut, only paused, and what was left for you carries weight not because it is heavy but because it completes something unfinished in you. And completion always brings calm before clarity, and that calm is settling now. Stay with me, because just ahead is the realization that makes sense of the waiting, and it will arrive quietly, maybe later today, maybe when you least expect it, but it will feel familiar, like something you almost remembered before, and when it does, you will not need reassurance, you will simply know, and that knowing will steady you in a way nothing else has, and I am saying this now to keep you from leaving too early, because anticipation tries to pull you forward, but protection asks you to remain, and remaining is what allows alignment to lock into place, and you are doing that right now, even by listening, even by staying, and nothing is rushing you, nothing is chasing you, everything is moving in correct order. And I am watching closely, guarding the edge of this moment until it finishes forming, and do not worry if you cannot name what you feel, feelings do not need labels to be valid, they only need space, and you are giving them space now, and I will not withdraw my presence until the final settling is complete, until the awareness anchors gently instead of startling you. And remember this, my child, the most important things arrive without force. Without drama, without demand, they arrive and they stay, and this is one of those things, and you are ready for it now in a way you were not before, and I am still here, unwavering, holding the line, until the last word rests where it belongs, my child. You are protected, you are seen, stay with the final word, because what is moving toward you cannot be stopped. Archangel Michael says, my child, my beloved, stay with me. Do not let your attention wander now, because this is the thin edge of the moment, the place where leaving feels easy but staying changes everything, and I am asking you softly but firmly to remain, because what is forming needs your presence to finish settling, and you may feel a pull to move, to check something else, to tell yourself you will return later, but later bends timing, and timing is precise right now, and listen carefully, because there is a quiet exchange happening that does not repeat itself loudly. It happens once, it happens gently, and it leaves a mark that cannot be erased, and you are inside it, and you have been here before without realizing it, at crossroads where you felt unsure why a choice mattered so much, why a pause felt heavy, why something inside you said wait, and those were rehearsals, my child. This is the moment they prepared you for, and I am guarding it closely, keeping interference distant, keeping doubt from gaining ground, keeping you steady while the final alignment tightens, and you may notice your breathing slow. Your thoughts soften, your resistance ease. That is not fatigue, that is surrender without loss, and it is safe, and I am here to ensure it remains safe. And do not search for signs right now, do not try to force meaning, because meaning arrives when you are still enough to receive it without fear, and you are still now, even if your mind is moving, your presence is here, and that is what matters, and I want you to hear this clearly. Nothing is slipping away while you stay, nothing is being missed, everything important is drawing closer, and you do not need to chase it. It is already aligned to meet you, and I will not step back until that meeting is secured, until the awareness settles without shock, until the calm replaces the tension you carried longer than you should have, and if emotion rises, let it rise, if tears come, let them pass, they are part of release, not loss. And you are not being asked to relive anything painful, you are being allowed to close something gently. Finally, and that closure brings strength, not weakness, and stay with me just a little longer, because the final word carries protection within it, and protection holds longer than explanation ever could. My child, you are protected, you are seen, stay with the final word, because what is moving toward you cannot be stopped. Archangel Michael says, my child, my beloved, stay with me. Do not let this moment slip past you, because this is where the turning happens, quietly, without announcement. And many never notice it because they leave too soon, and I do not want you leaving now, not when everything has narrowed to this exact breath, and listen carefully, because the feeling you have right now, the sense that something is about to make sense, that something unseen is close, is the signal that alignment is finishing its work, and you did nothing to force this, you earned it by enduring, by waiting, by holding yourself together when answers did not come, and heaven noticed every time. You chose patience over panic, every time you stayed soft instead of hardening, and that is why this moment is gentle instead of overwhelming, and I am standing between you and anything that tries to rush or distort it, because rushing would break the clarity, and clarity is what is being delivered, and you may feel the urge to move on, to say this is enough, but that urge is the last distraction, the final test of attention, and staying through it locks the protection into place, and I am asking you again, stay with me, because what is about to settle does not repeat itself loudly, it confirms itself inwardly, and when it does you will feel steadier, lighter, as if something you carried without knowing has finally been set down, and you will not need anyone else to validate it, because it will feel complete inside you, and this completion is safe, it is guarded, it is timed, and nothing can interfere with it now. Not confusion, not delay, not unseen resistance, because I am holding the line until it finishes forming, and you are not alone in this pause. Even if the world feels distant right now, that distance is intentional, it is creating space for what matters to arrive without noise, and I am still here, watching, protecting, steady, until the last settling happens, until the awareness anchors without shaking you. And remember this, my child, the moments that change you most never shout. They whisper and stay, and this is one of those moments, and you are doing exactly what you need to do simply by staying, my child. You are protected, you are seen, stay with the final word, because what is moving toward you cannot be stopped. Archangel Michael says, my child, my beloved, remain here with me, do not let your focus break now, because this is the quiet center of the unfolding, the place where everything that has been circling finally settles. And leaving at this point would feel harmless, but it would stretch the moment, and I want this to complete cleanly for you, and listen carefully, because what you are sensing is not curiosity, it is recognition. Something inside you already knows this is important even if your mind cannot explain why, and that is why I am asking you again to stay, because recognition deepens when you do not interrupt it, and you have spent much of your life being interrupted, pulled away just before clarity arrived, distracted just before peace settled, and that pattern is breaking now, gently, without force, and I am guarding this break so it does not reverse, and you may notice the world feels slightly farther away right now, sounds softer, thoughts slower, that is not fading, that is focus narrowing to what matters, and what matters is approaching quietly, securely, without pressure, and I am holding the perimeter so nothing intrudes, nothing rushes, nothing distorts the delivery, and hear this clearly, my child. Nothing about this moment is accidental, not the timing, not the feeling, not the way you were drawn to stay longer than you expected, and staying is not costing you anything, it is anchoring something that will remain with you after this ends, and you do not need to chase signs afterward, they will come to you naturally, calmly, in ways that feel personal and undeniable. And when they do you will understand why this pause mattered, why attention mattered, why staying mattered, and I will still be with you then. Though you may not feel me as strongly, because protection often steps back once stability is secured, and stability is what is forming now, and I am not leaving yet, I remain until the final settling completes, until your spirit rests without tension, until the quiet becomes safe instead of uncertain, and do not worry if you feel emotion rising without reason, that is release, not disturbance, and it is allowed, and you are held through it, and stay with me just a little longer, because the final word carries a seal within it, and that seal keeps what arrives from slipping away. My child, you are protected, you are seen, stay with the final word, because what is moving toward you cannot be stopped. Archangel Michael says, my child, my beloved, stay with me for this final settling, do not move away now, because this is the closing of the circle, the moment where everything that has been hovering finally rests, and you may feel a quiet certainty beginning to form, not excitement, not fear, just a deep knowing that something is complete, and that knowing is the sign you have stayed long enough, present enough, still enough, and listen carefully, because what was meant for you has now been secured, not taken, not forced, but gently placed back into alignment with your life. And nothing can undo this once it settles, nothing can pull it away. Nothing can confuse it, because it has been sealed under protection, and you do not need to hold on to this message after this. It will hold on to you. It will echo softly when you need reassurance. It will steady you when questions arise, and you will notice that you feel calmer than before, clearer than before, without needing to understand why, and that is how you will know it is real. And I am easing my presence now only because stability has been established, not because you are alone, but because you are safe. And remember this always, my child, you were never forgotten, never overlooked, never late. Everything arrived exactly when you were ready to receive it without breaking, and this moment was part of that protection. And I leave you with this final truth resting gently inside you. My child, you are protected, you are seen. Stay with the final word, because what has moved toward you has already arrived and it cannot be stopped.